Well, welcome to the follow-up after show, kind of our web extra viewers that watched the big show. And our big show this week was on DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and the Bay Area Community Foundation survey. They did important work, and we're going to continue the conversation here in the after show with Darold Newton, president of the Bay City NAACP and a Bay Area Community Foundation board member, also host and producer of Soul Issue. Dan Mahoney, president and CEO of the Bay Area Community Foundation, and Erin Kreutzberg, a program officer there. What we didn't get into the big show, during the big show, a little bit about the survey, what was in the survey, how long was the survey? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the survey was released in October of 2021, so a little while ago, and it was open for 3 weeks. We received a little over 1,000 responses. I'm trying to think of the exact number. I think it was about 1,100 responses from residents of Bay County. It was limited to that, and you had to be at least 18 years of age to complete the survey. And it was available online. It wasn't a randomized survey because of the pandemic. We weren't able to kind of get to some of that door-to-door outreach that we would have hoped. And there were copies as well available in Spanish. So there were also copies available at the Bay Area Community Foundation for individuals who might not be using the internet or aren't interested in going online to take a survey. And that also kind of helped bridge the conversations when people are calling, asking about it, kind of helping to explain the reasoning behind the survey and what we're going to do with that information.
So then you want to follow up with that? It had to be hard to come up with the questions. It's kind of a work in progress, right?
Oh, it was definitely a work in progress. It was 96 questions. So people that did take the survey, it really was a matter of importance to them because they committed a fair amount of time into it. One of the things that we knew going into it, it wasn't, because it was not a randomized survey, right? People were selecting to provide their response, that we would not be able to make statistical conclusions off of that data. But we understood that, and we felt it was still important because we had the quantitative data of all of the census information. And this really was another data point. It's a temperature check of the community. You know, we think we know what people are thinking, but sometimes when you ask the questions, you realize you don't really know. So we understood the, not necessarily the shortcomings, but the parameters of it, and we decided it was still worth it.
Right.
Yeah. And not only that, those questions, which you said 96, were actually questions of importance. Those questions meant something to those who filled out that survey, and I think that's what drew them in, because it was their opportunity to have a voice and speak out on some of the things in the community or how they felt about it. And I think that in itself was the beauty of this survey, and the results show that.
So was there a hesitancy at all amongst certain groups in the county, whether or not they were approached to take the survey and felt like, no, I don't think I want to do that? What were some challenges there as you tried to get certain groups to participate?
One group we did not hear from was the Hispanic community.
Okay.
We need to lift up that voice, and we, at the end of the report, there's some future steps, the commitment of our organization. And we've made a commitment that we're going to go out and find those voices and have conversation with them to find out. And churches are really a linchpin in this conversation that can get us into their parishes, and they're trusted. They're a trusted, valued partner.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting as you say that. So let's just say for some viewers that maybe had not heard about it, or in some ways the Hispanic population didn't take the survey, didn't participate, or whatever, that doesn't mean they can't be involved moving forward. So let's talk about that a little. It's out there. They can go on your website. They can look at it. There'll be important information them to see. So then they'll go, okay, now what do I do, right? So
Yeah, and it's still a learning process, because even as the president of the NAACP, we're all inclusive, but we still have work to do getting to the Latino community as well, or the Native American, the indigenous, because I think it's in certain senses tribal. So you have to, as you would in the African American community, go through the churches, the trusted sources. So it's up to us to find out what's the better trusted source to reach out to them to build that trust, because over the years they haven't had that. you know, they've just been in the shadows, and a lot of people feel that way. So with us taking this initiative, I think it will, you know, bridge some gaps there and bring more to the table.
Anything else, Diane? Kind of closing comments on the big show and the after show that you'd like to leave viewers with, I guess?
I think we have to prove to the community that this is more than a report.
Sure.
That this means more to all of us than the words that are written on the paper. And we hope that everyone in the community will agree with all of us, the 4 of us sitting here, that this is important work and that they will join in with us. And our commitment at the Bay Area Community Foundation is that we're not going to stop working in this space. And we're going to encourage people as much as we can to come along. We are very critically evaluating our own systems because we have unconscious bias in our systems.
Sure.
Just by even who's in your database.
Right.
You know, and if you don't have the organizations or, you know, the black churches or the Hispanic churches in your database, it doesn't matter how much information you send out, you're never communicating.
Absolutely.
So we're really looking at all of that to figure out if we're really walking the walk or are we just talking.
And a good word Diane had mentioned is committed. And, you know, if you're committed, again, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you're committed, you're going to take the painstaking steps to do whatever it takes to reach out and engage and embrace.
Yeah, you're not going to solve this overnight.
No.
But as you said in the big show, we have to have these difficult, challenging conversations. And that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard work. But I applaud your efforts getting it out there. It's a marathon, not a sprint. This is a heavy lift. Great job.
Thank
You guys
you.
should take a lot of pride in that. And so those that are watching, go to the Bay Area Community Foundation. Report's going to be on there. Get through it. I mean, I got through it today, and it's impressive. And so, good job. Appreciate you guys coming in. And
Thanks
we'll
for
do it again maybe a year from now and say, okay.
Where we at?
We've seen the report for a year. What happened with that?
Yes.
And did you make some change? And I bet you will.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us tonight on the After Show.